From the home offices of Ash and Flo, this is Unbillable Hours, a podcast about professional services marketing. Stick around to listen to our insights, tips, and best practices to improve your firm's marketing and even your career.
So it's another workshop session, right, Flo?
It's another workshop session. It's another workshop session, correct, Ash?
Yeah, I mean, we will bring Uta back because, we have to continue that discussion. But there's something that's been like bothering the two of us. And it's essentially the fact that now that, COVID's not out of the picture. It's still there.
Yeah.
But a lot of countries, a lot of places you go, everyone's hiring. And if you're hiring, you need to be attractive to your, potential prospects. Also, on the same note, there's a lot of people leaving. So now there's going to be talent in that market. How do you get that talent to do stuff for you? Like, you might find them in new and interesting places that you don't that you don't specifically, know about. So you should start looking at skills and everything. But yeah, it's about the candidate journey, right, Flo? I mean, you're talking about that.
Yeah, the candidate journey and specifically, I think, recruitment marketing. And I think you and I can workshop a little bit on this question of what can marketing do to help a firm win the war for talent? Is that the word? I don't know. Because
I think we can call it that.
Yeah, you had a few LinkedIn posts out about the great resignation or what people leaving jobs.
Yeah.
I think that pressure is felt in consulting jobs in particular because some of the glamour of the profession, some of the perks have been taken away by lockdowns and home offices and so forth.
Yeah,
and I
people
think
are not traveling as much.
Yeah, and the travel's gone. You're right. And then just from my quote unquote market research, so talking to marketing leaders in various firms, like just this week I had 4 conversations where people literally told me, look, winning work is not a problem. Like, business is great because companies are transforming digitally. They have all kinds of stuff to do. The client companies have no talent themselves, so they turn to consultants to help out. So everybody told me the major marketing pain I have right now is actually the recruitment marketing, not winning the work. Some of them say we have too much. We need the people. So and not being an expert, I should say this, in recruitment marketing myself, I still think you and I could have a quick discussion and maybe just look at what we think is broken, or where there might be opportunities for marketing to do a better job of helping with recruitment.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have one? You mentioned the journey. Maybe that's where we start. Maybe we just begin with what's broken with how companies present themselves to candidates and how they advertise jobs. Is that a good one?
You could talk about that. Actually, let's tie into one of your posts this week, Flo, about how you need to be present on social media as an individual and also as a company in the right way to have that conversation. Because something that companies across, not just professional services firms, need to realize is the younger generation in particular, who are doing most of your grunt work, they need to research, they need to find out how it is to work in these places. Where do they go? They go to their social platforms. That's where they get from, their trustworthy information from, because of other people who worked there, who've left there. This is the kind of information that, these people get from those platforms. If all the companies just shy away from all of this, then they're just going to miss out. So they either can, reinvigorate their existing, employees to be like influencers and speakers to help that build that culture. I mean, seriously, if you have trust, you don't need to say I'm a great place to work as a company. Why would you need that?
That's true. I know, but your comment with the activating your own workforce so refreshing social presences, I fully agree, and I think that's what actually one of my posts was about, this thing that how many conversations are going on TikTok about all these major consulting brands and how it is to be employed there, what people can expect, how it starts, what's the workload. All kinds of questions are being asked by people who are not these brands, just random people who either did work there in the past. Like, you can find so many ex-Big Four tech people talking about how it is to start your career in Big Four. And so there's a huge opportunity in just answering the questions people have. and giving legitimate insight into how that works. And I posted about TikTok as a platform where lots of that is going on, but not as many firms have a presence. And the second channel I saw, I'm a heavy user of the Reddit forums related to, like, there's a subreddit on consulting. There are subreddits on many consulting brands, started not by the brands but by the people. And then there's discussions about, payment increases, bonuses after the COVID year. All this stuff's discussed, and it's rare to see official people from the firms stepping. I think there's actually someone from Bain is on Reddit and has conversations, and he, it's a difficult terrain, but I gotta find that link and pull him out. He's doing a good job at going in, answering these questions, sometimes, sort of de-escalating certain things. And I think he's actually doing quite some good social media work on that front. Whereas everybody else, I think, to your point, Ash, still does the glossy posts on Instagram, which I don't know how much trust there is, and I don't know how many people still care. But
so what I'd like to bring to life specifically is Mars in this particular case. They're not a professional services firm, but what I've been seeing over the past several months is they're featuring newly employed people. They create posts where there's like, hey, here's a person who joined us. This is their career journey. They came in from here and this is what they did. And they do like a short clip or just a short visual on the person. And then they tag them, and then they have conversations with anyone who's interested in that journey. When an individual makes such a post, the corporate account actually responds to the specific thing actively and responds. And not just in English, in all the languages that are posted.
Yeah.
That is something really impressive. That is something that needs to be emulated, in my view, because you're not just going on and saying, hey, I'm... someone, you're not ignoring posts in other languages. You have a global task force. You need to speak those languages, or at least have people on your teams who speak those languages respond. That is a big deal.
So yeah, that's a good one with just, I could say, celebrating or having a process or a campaign around celebrating people who join or who get promoted and all these types of things. But I guess there's even more you could do along these lines, don't you think?
Yeah, like you were just saying, we could package like the good that we do for people into something like a campaign. Just show how amazing a place, it is to work. It's like you've got people who've been moved around, who've been moved around because of their skills into leadership positions. You could literally celebrate that, talking about their story. Or you could say, here are some key skills that we have seen in these people, and we've nurtured them, and they've become leaders now. You can talk about stuff like that. I literally know there are stories like this that easily could be, spread.
Same goes probably with certifications and stuff. So many people, consultancies push so many people in these great programs to get certified in certain tech areas, do some sort of executive education, right? And then it's I see some firms do that, or some people from firms posting stuff like, hey, I just got my X, Y, and Z certificate thanks to employer name, make it possible. But you could bring that out more, and it's almost the equivalent of having case studies, right? But it's personal stories showcasing how you actually accelerate people's careers, which is different from, and I think that's where you're getting at, is it's different from having Instagram posts about the glossy office or the cool hipster canteen and stuff, because it's tied to people who actually exist in the world. And actually, to your point,
their journey.
Yeah.
And it's, even if it's corporate making those posts, it's the personal journey.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Another good one. Yeah. I like it. And talking about this, what you just mentioned, I mean, it's cool to sort of facilitate that initial post about, look, I joined and here's how I get there. But if your firm is actually on par with a lot of the industry, which is these are competitive places to get into, right? They have strong cultures, and usually people are proud when they join them. You don't even have to do this. People just do it by themselves. Like, I'm not going to drone on about TikTok, but if there's so many posts from people who just joined, insert big firm name here, and they post about that, or they do like an unboxing when they get sent an outbox. So there's lots of very positive communications going on. And what you just described, the corporate handle, stepping in and liking it or responding. None of that happens because they're not even there. So that's I think that's opportunity one is, like you said, really look at the social presence, the social strategies, and update them, because chances are you have one, you have a recruitment marketing social media strategy, and it's from 2018, and things have changed since then.
I would say I would even argue that it's from 2010 rather than go back to
maybe. Like I said, I'm not an expert there. So it's maybe time for an update. And I think you alluded to what I also like. So in that, really take a look at the content you're pushing and how you use, I think that was your point, right? How you use influencers, let's say, be they actual employees of your firm, could be alumni, whoever, but whoever is talking about your firm in a positive voice, see if there's some angle to work with those people.
Highlight people from your company who are doing stuff, and not just make it seem like a corporate post. Make it seem human, make it seem relatable. And here's something that you again touched on, Flo, in the post this week about how job postings are. It's just
my next point. That's my next point. we have the front end educational piece, social, like distribution, the content you push out and how you distribute it. Now you're getting to the next point, is once you have the actual messaging opening, how do you advertise that? Which is sort of probably the demand gen or performance marketing equivalent of recruitment marketing. I have no idea, but yeah,
I would say it's first of all messaging, and then it's the demand gen.
But now you're actually trying to convert someone because you have a job opening. So yeah.
Because when you look at the messaging, it's just a bunch of blah. You don't know anything. Like you look at how many companies make a massive post and then hide their salary. It's like, do you think these people who apply are not going to ask how much you pay them? Be transparent about how much you're going to pay them, because you know what? They need to know this thing. That's one thing that you can mention. The next thing is,
I love that point. I love it. Because they're going to find out Anyways, sorry, you're not putting it on the job ad, but there's 15 micro influencers on TikTok who speak about their own salaries at length. There's entire YouTube channels dedicated to careers in Big Four consulting, putting out those numbers for you. So they will find out anyways. Why don't? Yeah, exactly. That's a. I hadn't even thought about that. Yeah, it's brilliant.
You need to put out how much how much you're paying. And then the next thing is, stop making generic ad posts. If you're trying to hire someone for a job, make it clear what you're hiring for. Like I have seen job descriptions that literally do not mention anything clear. It's like you would find people who have got no experience to people who've got like 25 years of experience who actually understand what this posting is about applying, because the only thing mentioned is you need like 3 or 4 core skills. And guess what? Someone who just graduated from university would have those core skills. Are you looking for just those core skills when someone new, or do you want someone with a little more experience? State those things and make it clear what exactly you're looking for. Like, don't just copy paste from someone else. Make a clear kind of job post. If you feel like you need to make a short video just to say what you're looking for, do that. Don't just record. Don't just write something that says, I need someone with excellent communication skills. Oh, I need someone who knows like basic stakeholder planning. Or my favorite, I need someone to write, edit, post all these things on some social media platform. And I need someone to No, this is actually my favorite. I need someone with good marketing mix skills.
Someone who does everything. Yeah, you're right. I mean, to your point about the messaging. So that's, yes, I think what you're saying is be more specific and then have the relevant information in there in message, the salary, for example. I would, and I love the point about, having decent ad messaging, because I get that at some point there's probably scaling and it's just you need templatized stuff, just to be on top of everything, especially in the larger firms. Then there's probably compliance questions and these things. But boy, you could still stay within those constraints and do a better job. I'm 100% certain of that with the messaging alone. And then I think the second point I would just add to that is, if you really need the talent, and do invest a couple of bucks in the copywriting, like literally. Like I challenge you to spend big on that and see what the results you could get. And that was what my post was about, because I posted David Ogilvy's Trumpeter Swans ad for a creative director from the 60s, I'm guessing, which you can find that online. That was just a compelling advertisement, and I contrasted it with generic blah blah, like you said. From like, I think the job ad one, and it can't be that expensive to hire someone who's really good with words to freshen up your stuff.
To get someone from Fiverr at the very least.
Yeah, to craft something that's kind of compelling. And then you shared something that, so we have messaging, we have the copywriting, and then I think you just shared something with me, which was an interesting format. Maybe you can describe it for people. Someone posted a entire job spec, wasn't it?
Yeah. So one of my connects, Paolo, we were in the same university at one point. That's how it's a usual thing of having not communicated. But his ad for a marketing coordinator just popped up on my feed, and I looked at it and I was like, okay, it's got a nice cover, an image. It actually describes what the roles, responsibilities are, what the company is, and everything. And it's not really long. It gives it's 5 pages on a PDF kind of thing, but it covers all the information that a person would want to know.
It's very comprehensive and specific to your point. And then also what I loved about it is you said it's 5 pages as a PDF, but it's the way he distributes it. It's a carousel thingy on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
There's not the usual, I'm hiring, please click this link to get to a shitty career platform to read a generic thing. I don't have to leave the app to read everything. I don't even have to jump to one of those LinkedIn job description pages.
Yeah.
I stay in the feed on the homepage. I read the full thing, and I actually do understand that. We need to put the link in the show notes. This is a really good example of how you could be doing it with minimum added effort, and it's a much better experience. And again, it's just recruitment marketing. We're not talking candidate experience or hiring process or the tech you use. None of that. It's just how you communicate about the job you're trying to, the role you're trying to fill.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was a nice one.
And we need more like that. And okay, this is something I would say to both the recruitment people and the hiring managers. We know everyone's busy. Hey, I'm busy. Flo's busy. We're all busy people. But guess what? You can spend a little bit of time up front to write a decent job description to hire the kind of person that you want. Because if you don't do that, you're not getting the person you want.
Yeah.
You've got limited time too, right? So write something so that you don't spend time interviewing like a million different people or going through a million CVs that don't fit what you want. And you don't waste so many other people's time sitting and applying for jobs. Because guess what? Applying for jobs is soul crushing and devastating for many people.
Yeah.
Think about it on that end.
And you just give me an idea, and I really like this because, to your point, I have had this experience on multiple times in different companies that what actually happens is this: the hiring manager, when I was in this position, writes a job spec. I have written job specs that were like 4 pages long, right? Here's about us, here's the role, here are the tasks you'll have to do, here are the reporting lines and how that stuff works, here's the skills you should bring. And then I hand it into HR, and they, because of the processes they have to follow, because of the distribution tools they use, like sometimes there's like character limits on the job platforms and stuff, they condense it down to one highly generic, shitty advert that has nothing to do with it. Like, I've put in all the time, to your point. I've put in the time. It just goes to waste downstream in the process. And that, which is why I love the LinkedIn post you referenced from your connection there so much, because they just literally took the job specification, like you would probably write it when you build your team, put it in a beautiful layout, and that's it. This can be the content. It can be the ad. It's actually better than someone taking your job spec and then being creative and condensing it into 2 paragraphs that read nice but say nothing. Just put the damn thing. Maybe have someone make sure that all the acronyms are explained. That's probably a good step.
Yes.
And the in-between, which I think, to be fair, in their example, they did. So yeah, you could actually save time by not distinguishing between the job spec as like the hiring manager writes it and the ad that goes out. That could be 2 in 1. There could be 1 and the same thing. Would actually be better for me. Would probably have the salary info in there, right? Or the bandwidth, because that's usually in the specs. It's not in the ads. Yeah.
For sure. These are things that, people just need to like take care of, because guess what? We need this. And And I just wanted to go back to one of your earlier points, Flo, about like the community engagement
Yeah.
and that Bain guy. I want to take a slightly different example, but it's still relevant. Amazon used to be heavy into the digital gaming deals space. They wanted to explore this possibility and everything. So they had a customer service representative who went to all the key gaming forums and basically just listed out all the key deals for them there so that their customers didn't have to go out and search. And then eventually started engaging with them, saying when the deals would be coming and some key information so that they could purchase the keys when they were available. But that kind of engagement is not that difficult for a junior member of an HR or recruiting service to just be there. If you have people like monitoring your Glassdoor, you can have people like just sitting in the forums and having a conversation, because that genuinely helps.
Yeah, it's true. That is another one. Yeah, I like that. Just sort of channeling resources away from the command and control and towards the honest conversations, because
Yeah.
And that goes back to the point with the social and all the other stuff, is any ugly truths you might be trying to hide behind a shiny facade, they're out there anyways already. Yes. It's just that they are in forums where your company doesn't play yet. So they are on Reddit, they are on TikTok, they're on, I don't know, Fishbowl, other places. And that's what social media has given us. There's no incremental cost for me to go find someone who works at, I'm going to say Bain, right, on the internets and have a conversation with them about their experience. I can literally do that during my coffee break on my smartphone, and you'll never know. So forget the idea of being able to plaster over that, but get in there, get into these conversations. And if someone says something that you think is not right or truthful about your company, but it's just reflective of just some random person's individual bad experience, you can go in and provide, a counterfactual or counter the statement, or have, be part of a conversation and maybe say something different, and then the recipient will be able to make their own decision. But if you're not there, and if you're, to your point, if you're just monitoring Glassdoor as opposed to having the conversations,
Because guess what? Professional services firms, consultants talk. They're used to talking. And
all the time.
They talk. Oh, how long did it take for you to become like a manager? How long did it take for you to become like a partner? They have those conversations anyway. So for them, they know where to get their trusted information. And they will be doing it while sitting in your company, thinking about migrating to somewhere else.
Yeah.
So
what are the exit options? Man, the conversation, that's a side note, but for anyone who hasn't been there, just going on the consulting subreddits on Reddit, that's just an eye-opener for what's on people's minds right now. And they are a very truthful and cynical bunch, but it also becomes ridiculous. A lot of people there very keen on working in the industry, and really they have a good fun talking about the downsides and stuff. But lots of them are they're proud to be there. They like their firms, even though they make jokes about it. So there's so much
passion.
Yeah, passion, and so much affinity you could tap into or just be part of, and I think it would do a ton of good. And it's probably better than your Instagram channel sharing posts of the nice coffee bar you just installed in that office no one goes to anymore. I don't know. I'm not criticizing that, because that has to be there, I think, that the glossy stuff, but that's not the only content and not the only engagement play you can do, and you should be looking into other ones as well.
So one thing I want to add in that is, we're all passionate, and professional services firms do good work, and they do amazing work. The key thing is to not shy away from that conversation, but jump in. Yeah. Because if you're not jumping into that conversation, you're missing out, and that's where the disconnect happens, right? These people do not complain about where they work. They like it. But even if a person likes a place, as the old adage goes, when you like a place, when you're comfortable, that's the best time to leave. A lot of people know this. So this is a good time to, like, if you are trying to hire them, that's a good time to like woo them. If you're trying to retain them, that's a good time to like have those conversations with them. And if you stay out of it entirely, you're missing out on like valuable understanding of the people who do the amazing work that makes you an amazing place to work.
Yeah.
And that's just the gist of that. And I believe we are getting close to time, aren't we?
We are, and I just wanted to before I think we can wrap this up because I think we found a few good points. But just to catch on your last thing, the additional benefit of getting into the conversation is also that you get more input with regards to what are the issues, the questions, maybe even the concerns these people interested in your industry have. So you'll be able, looping this back to the beginning, to create better content and to distribute it in ways with people careful and all these things, write better job ads, blah, 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 based on the actual information from actual people you're getting there, right? And I think, there was a nice round thing we did, right? So recruitment marketing, how can you think about improving it? Just follow
a few simple principles.
The journey of the people you're trying to recruit, starting with the educational content, like I said, how it's distributed, right? How you talk about employment in your firm. From that, look into the actual job ads. Get some messaging in place. Yeah.
Get the right messaging and packaging.
Yeah.
And then use that to get your demand gen.
Exactly.
Getting these people in.
And then
and don't be afraid to jump in to conversation.
And then, and I think we should add to the back end of this, your point from before, once people join, see if you can maybe turn that into a bit of a marketing thing or event, to your point about, having people post about that they joined, re-amplifying that and these things. And these are all marketing things you could do and maybe win the good fight for the best people, because that seems to be a painful of you right now.
Yeah, so, hey guys. We're just looking out for you on both ends right now.
Yeah. See that? Did a little bit of recruitment marketing there. We need to bring someone on who really understands this stuff at some point, but I think we did okay for that one.
We did okay. I think we have a guest who can help here. But we will be doing more workshops where we will be having a few guests join in, just like we had Uta last week.
Yeah.
So watch out for more in that space.
Thank you for the time, Ash, and have a nice weekend eventually.
Thanks for listening to Unbillable Hours. If you want more, tune in next week. You know where to find us.